Coming from the national landscape, one thing that is near and dear to my heart is NAESP is looking for a new executive director. So if that's something that is interesting to you, Gail Connolly has announced her retirement as of August 1st. She'll be retiring in about a year, but we are in the process of a search. It's on the national webpage, naesp.org. If you or someone you know may be interested, please encourage them to check the website out. I am serving our association as the chair of that committee, so you can also have them contact me. I would be more than happy to talk to them. The timeline and process is all online, so please encourage someone you know. We have a great thought leader at the National Elementary Association level. Also, moving on to the new standards for principals. It's the professional standards for educational leaders called PISL. And these standards were adopted by the National Policy Board. Those of you that are involved nationally know that the National Policy Board is a consortium of all of the alphabet groups, so that means all of our national committees that are in the room today. We are a part of the National Policy Board. The CCSSO, as Superintendent Douglas talked about just a few minutes ago, actually owned the ISLIC standards. However, now the National Policy Board, it has the copyright of these standards. These standards were put together by all of the alphabet groups, higher ed, superintendents, ASA, NAESP, the elementary group, as well as NAESP, the secondary group. These standards were presented. I had an opportunity, Dr. Carol Schmidt, Executive Director of the State Board of Education, invited me on August 22nd to present the standards to the board. They were adopted with all but one person voting positively for them. All the universities supported them. The community ed, superintendent group all voted yes. One, I would like to encourage you, there is an open dialogue, public comment on September 19th, next Monday, 1 p.m. at the Arizona Department of Education. I would encourage you to please come and offer your public comment. I have written a white paper that is available to anybody. I would be happy to hand it out to you. I think Mark has a copy of it, but I will email it to anyone. I have business cards in the back. We need to hear your voice. There's many of our school districts are already moving forward with these standards as far as their principal evaluation systems. So we need to make sure that these standards are adopted. Yes, we had Arizona Voice. I sat on the committee. I was one of the authors from the elementary level, and a SSP of their president-elect, who is now president. She served on it, as well as all of our higher ed and superintendency groups were a part of it. We vetted them here last year, 1 year ago, at our September meeting. Also, they were vetted at different places around the state. So Arizona educators had an opportunity to be able to weigh in, and we're asking you once again to please weigh in on the standards so we can move forward with implementation as principal preparation. I have a wonderful principal pipeline, so looking at my higher ed friends, we need you. I mean, we need phenomenal principal prep programs within our state. I've been a member of NAU for 17 years, faculty member there. I serve on dissertation committees for several of the other universities. We've all worked very closely in this state, which I've been very grateful for. Now is the time to again to come together to see what we can do to support educational leaders within the state of Arizona. Next, the ESSA plan that Superintendent Douglas was talking about. ESSA affords an opportunity for several provisions within the law. One of the things that I'm hoping for and that I'm imploring for is that we take advantage of those provisions. I would like to congratulate Dr. Kelvin Baker. He is now serving on the state education board. Grateful to see him the other day. Mark was also down there and several of you were there. One group that is lacking, however, that I would encourage you to try to speak out. I have sent a email to Carol Schmidt to please forward on to the State Board of Education. We don't have a principal voice. We don't have a principal voice on the State Board of Education. There were 3 new ad hoc committees that were just developed. I applied for 2 of them. I didn't get on either of them. I didn't get chosen, and it's not about me, it's about a principal voice. There were no principals on these ad hoc committees. Superintendent's voice is there, teacher's voice is there, the public lay, but the principal's voice is lacking at any level. So I encourage you to also speak out. There is a seat available right now on the State Board of Education. Maybe that could be a principal's voice. That would be fantastic. I also have written a white paper on ESSA to try to take the approximately 1,000-page law and narrow it down to about 7. about where do you start, what's the beginning of the plan. I did go with Superintendent Douglas and spoke with her on her tour. I'm grateful that she's doing that. That's a wonderful way to get the voice of people, parents and administrators, superintendents around the state. But we need to have more. We need to make sure that our voices are heard, because this is a phenomenal opportunity. I'm grateful for her leadership. I'm grateful that she's very empowering of the state. But we need to make sure that we're putting this plan into place and doing a wonderful job right out of the chute. Also would like to congratulate the Scottsdale School District, Debbie Ibarra in particular. Debbie, under her leadership, Scottsdale School District was chosen to be the only school district in the United States to participate in our preschool education, a year-long program for working with principals and getting them prepared for leading pre-K-3 initiatives and learning. So congratulations, Debbie, and the Scottsdale School District. Also, October is National Principals Month. Both NAESP, they're doing something in Washington, D.C. this week honoring their top principals. NAESP does our national gala. Our principal of the year this year comes from the Deer Valley School District. So congratulate her. She's a phenomenal principal. Paula, thank you, Connie. Chunis. She's from Deer Valley, Sierra Vista Elementary, I believe. She is going to be phenomenal. I look forward to welcoming her to Washington, D.C. in a couple weeks. And then also NAESP offers a National Principal Mentoring Program. This is available higher ed, superintendents, district office, all principals. And that is in Gilbert, actually, February 2nd through the 4th. And that's on the NAESP website. Also a phenomenal program to help in your principal pipeline. When you're attracting and retaining principals, principals really need the mentoring piece of it, as long as with a well-crafted induction program within each of our school districts. Also, please make plans. My colleague Larry Rother is here from Chandler. Larry is your board member on the NAESP board. And for the first time ever, there is an all principals conference, national convention. That will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, July 9th through the 11th. And Larry and I are here to support you and to support principals within our state, but also at the national level. So thank you, Larry, for your work. And then I have a guest that we brought in today, Elena Z. Elena, if you wouldn't mind standing quickly. Elena is the CEO and president of the Arizona Council on Economic Education. She has phenomenal programs at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. So she is a guest at the elementary level today, but I know would be happy to talk to any of you about the programs and opportunities that there are for you. And again, I'm here for you. As I talked to some people, Angie Chamokas and Denise today, my new goal is to be the self-proclaimed ambassador of education. And I did not go back to my principalship this year in Gilbert, which was a very difficult decision. But my role, I think now, is to serve and to be a voice of educators, not only in Arizona, but around the country. So if there's anything I can ever do to support you, anyone at any level, I think I've had a role in almost every position except superintendency I've not been, and I have not been at the district office, but higher ed and all principalships I've worked in. Please let me know how I can support you. That's my role. And thank you very much.